Hello everybody, welcome to another watercolor tutorial. We're going to be painting a really nice and easy sunset painting, and it should be fairly quick, so it's like a really nice quick sketch or painting that you can do. So the first thing I'm doing, I have a piece of Scotch tape here and I'm cutting out a circle. Now if you have masking fluid or even like a sticker that is perfectly round, you don't have to do what I'm doing if that's the case, because this is quite tedious. But you know, if you don't have any of that stuff, then cutting out a circle out of tape is not really that big of a deal. It just takes a long time because the tape rips as you're cutting it, and it's sometimes hard to get, you know, a perfect circle, and that's not a perfect circle, but I don't care. So I'm gonna put it like a little above halfway, maybe off center a little bit, somewhere there. And really make sure you press it on, because I've had instances where the water went underneath because I didn't press it on enough. But anyways, so we're going to be working with really beautiful bright colors today. I am starting with yellow. And I'm just applying that. I always use the same yellow, which is kind of in between a yellow and an orange. So I am picking up like a much brighter yellow this time. It has some green mixed into it because I intermixed my colors a little bit too much. So sorry, we're covering the whole thing with yellow. You don't have to be too nitpicky about anything as of yet, because we're just covering it with yellow. And I didn't bother applying a background wash with water first because I want the yellow to be nice and bright. What's the point of doing 2 layers when you can just do one by not doing a water wash first? So that looks quite nice. Now, the key thing is working while this first layer is still wet. So I am going to grab orange now. Okay, and we're going to be applying some at the top left corner here, striking right, but we want to do it very swiftly. So I'm overlapping the sun a little bit. I'm even coming from the right a tiny bit. And you're just continuing that kind of all the way down your page. So you can go in again with like more pigmented orange if you want to. Kind of like tiger stripes. Okay, so I like how that looks. I'm gonna let this completely dry before we move on to the next step. Okay, now that our background is dry, I hope it's dry. I want to peel off the sun, but I'm nervous because the tape on the side here has some wet droplets on it. So I just took some tissue, like toilet paper, and I'm being careful to try and dry those off so that I don't smudge any of it onto my painting. And I'm going to try and do the same on the sun. Trying to be ultra careful there. And now I'm going to uber carefully peel that sun off. There we go, a nice white, bright sun. That is actually way too big for my purposes, but whatever. We will make it work. So the next step is quite simple, but it's really going to make this painting come alive. We're going to basically paint these like rocky, mountainous cliffs almost, but there's going to be 2 layers of them. So you want to take black watercolor, just pure black, and I'm going to water mine down just a tad bit because I want the one in the front to be a little darker. So this first one is going to come up like here, I would say. Starting from the left side, you can draw the base of it, like that. And then, so the top of it, and you can try to be like jaggedy with your edges to try and make it look like rock or whatever you want it to be. There we go. And I'm going to paint another one, but this one's going to be much darker, or I'm going to try and make it much darker. And it's going to overlap this one a bit, but it's going to come down, so it's going to look like it's closer to the viewer. It's going to start here and kind of gradually trail upwards. I kind of wanted this one to overlap with the sun, but it's not going to happen, I don't think. Again, I'm trying to make it look rocky. I know I've said this for several videos in a row, and that is because I am pre-painting a bunch of videos on one day, and my husband is making so much noise. Like, not that I'm complaining, because he's doing a lot of chores, like getting a lot of things done, but for instance, right now, because I film in the bathroom, it's an exterior wall, so there's a lot of snow. Like, we're in the middle of a snowstorm right now, and he's like, I can hear him walking and the snow crunching because he's reloading the wood stack just outside the door, just outside the bathroom basically. So it's very, very loud, which I hope that you can't hear. But if you're wondering if, you know, anybody's passing gas, that is not the case. It is just crunchy snow. Okay, so I kind of like how that turned out. It's darker than this one, which is nice. It makes it look like it's closer to the viewer. Although technically this one should be darker because the sun is like totally against it. Or the sun is closer to it, which the contrast should be bigger. So, oh my goodness, I'm just gonna go over this one with black too. Darker black, I mean. There we go. Not bad, I would say. So what we want to do to make this look even funner and greater and more detailed is we want to add little ripples in the water, because obviously this is supposed to be water. So starting from this small one here, I'm going to have these little ripples that are directly underneath it. And the ones, like, I want to make them different thicknesses and shapes and whatnot. But the ones closest to the cliff are more plentiful, because that's where the water is kind of like smashing up against the cliff side, and they become a little bit more sparse as you move away from it. So just as you move away, like closer to the viewer, you make them farther and farther apart and thinner, sparser. Like so. There, so that actually looks quite nice. We're not quite done yet. We just want to add a couple of details in the sky to balance out the details in the bottom. So I'm going to be adding birds, but rather than adding like a super abstract bird, I'm trying to, well, no, it's still going to be pretty abstract, but I'm going to try my best to make it look a little more detailed than I usually do, because usually it does not look very good. So I'm using my quadruple 0 brush for this. I'm really trying to focus here on these birds. So I'm going to have one that's going to come like this, and it's going to thicken here because that's the baudet. Okay, that looks much better than my birds usually look. So I'm gonna have another one here overlapping the sun. Same type of deal. Okay, that looks a lot nicer. I don't know why I haven't always done birds like that. I'm gonna do another smaller one here. Maybe another even smaller one, just here. There we go. All right, so let's take that tape off to reveal nice edges. And that's basically it. That was quite easy. I hope you guys thought so as well. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to subscribe, hit like on this video, and comment down below what you'd like to see in the future, what you liked about this painting, what you would change. I love reading your comments, so go crazy in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.